Hi there, welcome to our webinar, An Introduction to Plastic-Free Denholme. So we're going to talk about the Plastic-Free Denholme project, which is a community project that was set up in 2019, and we're aiming to become an official accredited plastic-free community with the help of Surfers Against Sewage. So let's get started. First off, what is a plastic-free community? Together, we're tackling avoidable throwaway plastic from our streets and green spaces, all the way back to the brands and businesses who create it. It's not about removing all plastic from our lives, it's about kicking our addiction to single-use plastic and changing the system that produces it. So we're on a journey. Being a plastic-free community does not mean that there's no plastic. Being a plastic-free community means you're starting to work to turn the tide on plastic pollution. It means you're pulling together different aspects of your community, collaborating and including everyone to bring about the culture change that we need to see. So you might be wondering, who are Surfers Against Sewage? Surfers Against Sewage was set up in 1990 and the clue is in the name. It was a small group of surfers who were fed up of getting ill from being exposed to chronic sewage pollution. In the decades since, they've grown to be widely recognised as one of the UK's leading marine conservation charities, dealing with a wide spectrum of issues from marine litter to climate change. Today, they've more than 100,000 volunteers and supporters involved in campaigns and activities across the UK to protect our oceans, wherever we live. Over that time, we've also seen a new pollution crisis rise on our shores: plastic. In response, the Plastic-Free Coastlines vision was born, resulting in campaigns such as Plastic-Free Communities and Plastic-Free Schools, and also a Community Clean programme. It says you're plastic-free, but there's plenty of places using and selling plastic in this community. Becoming accredited as a plastic-free community does not mean we've eliminated all plastic, and that's not what our campaign is about. It means we've done the groundwork in setting up a group that really reflects the community we live in, and we're already tackling single-use plastic where we live, working with local government, businesses and beyond. We're creating a movement of people, businesses and organisations who want to kick their addiction to using avoidable single-use plastic. So you're not trying to get rid of all plastic then? No, of course not, and we wouldn't try to. Some plastic is useful and some is downright essential. It's how we use plastic that's the problem. When we say plastic free, we mean the avoidable single-use stuff that's everywhere. Things like throwaway coffee cups and lids, straws and food packaging. For example, did you know that we use 38.5 million plastic bottles every day in the UK? So we're working on long-term, sustainable change. We want to free where we live from single-use plastic. It won't happen overnight, but it will happen. Does it mean I have to change my lifestyle? It depends on how you already live. If you're like most of us, we race through each day and that very haste fuels single-use consumption. The grab-and-run coffee, the supermarket lunch deal. It's all packaged for our convenience. So it's also about a culture change. Surfers Against Sewage believe change comes from progress in 4 interlinked areas: attitudes, policies, laws, and businesses. So it's about looking at our own lifestyle, but it's also challenging the systems in place that fuel our throwaway culture. We need to eliminate use wherever possible first, and then create a world-class circular system to reduce, reuse, and recycle right here in the UK. So you might say to yourself, well, I haven't got time for all that. All it needs is small changes, one step at a time. No one expects you to completely change how you live. Start small. Try swapping to a refillable water bottle and get used to that. Next, try using a refillable coffee cup and do the same. Before you know it, you'll remember both of those every time you go out, And you might even save a few quid, as a lot of coffee chains give a discount to people who bring their own cups, so it's a win-win. You might find that you notice the single-use items and plastic in your life more often and become more open to tackling them. Some people realise they don't want to buy plastic-wrapped fruit and veg anymore. Others may stop using carrier bags or not take plastic cutlery or a straw when it's offered. You don't have to do everything at once. Find a thing that works for you and take it from there. Small actions can add up into big change. So what are Plastic Free Denholme's goals? As part of becoming an accredited plastic-free community, the team have to meet 5 objectives. They have to get their local council to commit to plastic-free initiatives. They have to get local businesses to remove single-use plastic items. They need to engage with the community and bring on board organisations like schools, employers and community groups, places of worship. They have to hold plastic-free events where they spread the word about reducing single use and organise community cleans. And finally, they need to set up a steering group made up of various people in the community to meet regularly and keep reviewing their progress. So what can you do as an individual? If you look at the poster on the screen there, it says refuse, refill, reuse, recycle. And that's really key, that we use those 4 R's in that order. So the first thing we need to do is refuse as much single-use plastic packaging as we can. Then we need to be thinking about refilling and reusing before we consider recycling. So recycling becomes the final option. So what kind of easy swaps can we do as individuals? Reusable water bottle, reusable coffee cup, reusable cutlery, packed lunches, reuse shopping bags, bamboo toothbrush, soap, milk delivery, buy things loose, and use refill shops. So, the Plastic Free Communities Manifesto. We live in a plastic world. It's an extraordinarily useful, versatile, cheap material, and it's everywhere. And it's a growth industry, with 1 in every 10 barrels of oil now used to create new plastic. But together, we can make sure we kick our addiction to avoidable single-use plastic and change the system that produces it. We can make sure we don't choke our streets, parks and playgrounds with it. Because if it's on our street today, then it's in our rivers tomorrow and our beaches and oceans forever. We can make sure each of us understands that we can change this, whoever we are and wherever we live. But we can only do all of this together. That's why we created plastic-free communities. It's a community network across the UK that's tackling single-use plastic from the beach all the way back to the brands and businesses who create it. We're on a journey to unite communities in the fight against single-use plastics, wherever we find them. It starts here and it starts with us, and if you're still reading this, that means you too. So join us and let's free where we live from single use, 1 plastic bottle at a time. So, if you'd like to ask a question, you can do that by getting in touch with us. You can send us an email at plasticfreedenholme@gmail.com. You can join our Plastic Free Denholme Facebook group. You can message our Plastic Free Denholme Eco Shop page, or you can get in touch with us on Twitter at pfdenholme or via Instagram at plasticfreedenholme. And we look forward to hearing from you. Thanks so much for taking the time to watch our webinar, and we hope to hear from you again at some point in the future.